Ocala.
25 minutes before 11 o'clock, a good friend of the show and of the station is in the studio, Rabbi Yossi Hecht. It is our all-day live guest day. We usually have guests, they're always live, but sometimes they're on the phone. In the studio guests is what I mean to say. Rabbi Yossi Hecht is in the studio. He's the rabbi of the Chabad Lubavitch Jewish Center of Marion County. He's here to speak about pizza. Ooh, pizza. Pizza in the hut. The Jewish observance of Sukkah. Did I say that right?
Yeah, it's always good to talk about food, right?
It is.
It is.
Food is an important thing.
Yeah, very.
I got something to tell you. Next week, we're not going to be here. We're going to this thing in Chattanooga because we play, the accordion and the mandolin. And so there's a college thing, and they want us to be there to do the French music, which was kind of cool, kind of a neat... But the thing is this, we're going to be there 3 days. We only have to play 2 hours a day.
And then you can eat the rest.
The rest of the time, I'm walking around to all these international foods.
Well, you could meet my colleague who runs the Jewish Center there in Chattanooga.
Does he really?
A good friend of mine, yeah.
And is he going to go to this thing? Is he part of a... I don't know even...
He'll probably be celebrating the Jewish holidays then.
That's right.
Did you go to a Jewish college? Was there a college that you went to?
I went to what they call a rabbinical college.
Okay, that would be okay.
And
that was where?
I went to a couple. I've gone to one in New York, in Los Angeles, in Israel. I've been around to a couple different ones.
In Israel, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the city of Tzfat or Safed.
So when you speak
the most mystical city in the world.
When you speak Hebrew, do they detect a Chicago accent?
They'll definitely detect an American. That much
they
I can
do.
Tell you.
They can say, "Oh, you're from America."
Oh, they'll know right away. They'll start upcharging you right there.
Oh,
That's
really?
Double price if you're an American.
Oh,
right
no.
there on the spot, of course.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm kidding. But
can you demonstrate this?
Can
you? Okay, I know that we're probably not going to be able to tell. Can you say something in Hebrew with the American accent, and then say the same thing with the what would be authentic Israeli accent?
Yeah, well, it would be something like...
Let me hear it, see if I can tell
an American would say something like shalom, and an Israeli would say shalom.
Oh, it's more like singing.
Okay.
Well, not that, but it's they have a different L. No, like shalom, as opposed to shalom.
Wow,
it's harder in American. It's harder sounding, not as pretty.
Yeah,
really? It's hard to tell.
Mm-hmm.
The R by Israelis, and Americans say R like this, and Israelis say ar like that. Ech ata margish, which means how you're feeling. An American would say ech ata margish.
But you personally, it sounds like you've mastered it, so you could do it. You could fake them out. You could pretend you weren't American.
Yeah, but you can still tell. This the same way you can tell anyone who comes here. The same way you could tell an Israeli trying to talk English, or someone.
Oh, I saw one too.
Someone coming from South America trying to speak English. You'll be able to tell where they're from.
Oh, there's a new mentalist guy, and he is amazing. He's from Israel. I guess you can't remember his name. I could look it up, but he can read minds, or at least I guess it's a trick. But he can. It's amazing.
I wonder if it's the guy that we had when we were in Israel. We had a mentalist there.
What's his name?
I don't remember the
young
name.
guy. He's kind of a good-looking guy.
I'm sure.
Everybody's good, young and good-looking to me nowadays. Yeah.
When you were speaking about the city, you said it was very mystical.
The Tzfat. It's in northern Israel, the city of Safed. It is a very mystical city. They have artists from all over the world who come there to present their art. And you could go there, all the time. They always have things going on, but it's very, very mystical. It's the hotbed of the Kabbalah, is in the city of Safed, and anybody who wants to study Kabbalah goes there. So it's really an incredible city. If there's any place in Israel to visit, when you go, that's one of the places you must go to.
Oh my gosh, it sounds intriguing.
So what was the thing? I don't want to get into this whole end of the world stuff, but there was something about a lot of stuff coming together in July, and a lot of it has to do with Jewish law, but one has to do with the UN. The Pope addressing Congress, that's in the thing. The Pope addressing everybody as he's doing. The final Jubilee year. What is that? Do you know what that is, or is that a Christian thing, or is that a Jewish thing?
Well, we just concluded what's called the year of Shemitah, and that is every 7 years we have a year of Shemitah in which, according to biblical law, it's a year of rest, similar to the Sabbath, which is on the seventh day of the week. It's a day of rest. So also the seventh year is a year of rest in which Israel farmers are not allowed to plant and
a whole year?
sell their produce for an entire year. People have all types of speculations as far as what's been going on, and they start counting back in the last couple Shemitahs as what has been happening. It's hard to comment exactly, and say that this is it. It doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that the year of Shemitah is doomsday or anything like that. I think they figured out that the year of 9/11 was the end of a Shemitah year. I think they figured out that the last time there was a collapse in the market was also a Shemitah year. However, there is a law in the Torah that says that you are supposed to give back any loans that any outstanding loans are to be forgiven in the Shemitah year. That is something that we do find in the Torah.
My bank is listening.
And I know, if only the banks will work that way. Think about it. Think about it if the way we worked was every 7 years, all loans would be forgiven, and everyone could have a clean slate every 7 years. So that's the way God wanted it to be. But obviously, it's not something that everyone follows. But it's just interesting that people find that within the Shemitah year, and they're calculating back, that these interesting things have been happening. This year, which we've just entered, after Rosh Hashanah, the new year, we entered a new year, which is called the year of Hakel, which in Hebrew means the year of gathering. And in the temple, they would gather every year during the holiday of Sukkot, which is the upcoming holiday, which we'll talk about. And the king of Israel was to read from the Torah, was to read from the Bible openly before everyone, before all of Israel. Men, women, and children were required to be there. And the idea was that everyone should gather together. And even though we don't have a temple today, a standing temple, but still this idea of gathering and having a year of gathering is something that we could focus on to try and bring people together as much as we can, even if it means making a gathering in your home, making a gathering in a school, in a community, wherever it is, to try and bring people together as much as possible during this year. And that's something very special about this year. So you pointed out all these different things that may be happening this year.
Right,
perhaps it's connected also with it being the year of gathering.
Wow, I love that. I love what you just said. Do you know, I've often thought, though, that the end of the world may not necessarily be a bad thing. Because if the end of the world, obviously, if it all explodes, that's a bad thing. But I mean, if the end of the world means that somehow the good guys win and the bad guys either disappear or become good, I mean, that's not a bad thing.
Well, basically, the Jewish belief in the Messiah is not that it's going to be a doomsday and the world is going to blow up, but on the contrary, that people will begin to recognize the goodness in the world. They'll begin to recognize God's presence in the world. They'll begin to be kind and peaceful to each other, and they'll begin to get rid of war and other such things which seem to distract it. So yes, we believe that the Messianic era is actually a very good era. It's not one of doom and gloom.
So then we'll finally agree. Jews and Christians finally go, there he is. Okay, he's the same guy.
Right.
Well, it's interesting, as you pointed out, that Jews, Muslims, and Christians, Lavdil, they all they all agree that this is an important year as far as it comes to Messiah or whatever.
Yeah, I think it says Buddhist, and I think it goes into other religions that don't trace back to Abraham also. I think some of them also.
Mm-hmm. Well,
the what do you call it?
Abrahamic religions.
Yeah.
Like a Buddhist or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe this is the year. Let's hope it is.
Yeah, I hope my bank hears you about that loan. All right, we do have a few things to talk about, local things, and we'll take a little break and be right back with Rabbi. This is WOCA Ocala.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, a mix of clouds and sunshine with a thunderstorm around from late morning on, the high 86 to 90. Then partly cloudy tonight. There may be a shower or thunderstorm in spots near the coast, the low tonight 70 to 74. For tomorrow, partly sunny skies with a thunderstorm mainly during the afternoon hours over the interior, the high 86 to 90. Sunday, more clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm around in the afternoon, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. Summer's almost over and fall's just around the corner. It's time to get that new look started. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. Humidity is not your hair's friend. It causes your hair to capture moisture and leaves it looking dry and unhealthy. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. And whether you're going on a job interview or out on a date, your hands do a lot of talking. Manicures are a must. Hello Gorgeous is a full-service salon, so let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala, right next to the historic Marion Theater.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
All right, 12 minutes now before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Rabbi Yossi Hecht is in the studio from the Chabad Lubavitch Jewish Center of Ocala, and we kind of distracted you, as we always do, to talk about other things.
Right, that's what keeps it fun, right?
That's what keeps it fun. But you have, hey, by the way, in the forgiveness...
Talking about distracting.
In the forgiveness of debts... Do you do it too? Like your wife borrowed, a couple dollars from you last week. Do you say, it's the 7th year, just forget it?
And that I would have to give up anyway. There is a way out, but it's a little complicating for the discussion now.
Oh, there is a way. All right, so let's see. What? Gosh, there's so many pieces of paper that I was handed. Which holiday? What are we talking about now?
Sukkah.
Oh, is it Sukkah or Sukkot?
Sukkot or Sukkot.
Sukkot.
Depending where you're from.
Circus?
Sukkot.
Circus.
Or Sukkot.
Okay.
A sukkah is, as explained in the Bible, a sort of a hut in which we create for ourselves, and we sit outside under the open air, under the clouds, and we create a sort of roof out of leaves, and this is to remember the 40 years that God has taken us in the desert and has protected us with the clouds of glory. And it's during this time that we remember that. It's also a time of unity, the fact that we can sit together and recognize that we all, in a sense, belong in the same home, in the same hut, sitting together, eating together. Some people even sleep in their sukkah. And that's one of the mitzvahs, that's one of the commandments in connection with the holiday of Sukkot. The other one is what's called the lulav. The lulav is a number of different types of grown species that we bring together. One is the lulav, which is a palm branch, which comes from a date palm generally. You also have a myrtle, a willow, and a citron. A citron looks like a lemon, but it's not. It's a special type of fruit. They grow them in Italy, and we bring those all together. Each one of those have a specific sense of unity within them. The palm branch is a branch where you have two leaves growing out of the same spot. If you take just the center palm, branch that is from the middle of the tree, then you'll see that each one of those actually is made up of two leaves, which expresses unity. The myrtle is a bush or a tree where you have three leaves growing out of the same spot. The willow is something which grows together. Also, in a sense that they constantly are growing out of the same place. Willows come from one spot, which they grow out from there, and then the citron is the only fruit which can actually grow in all seasons of the year.
Oh my!
And each one of these represent unity in a different way, and we bring them all together, showing that we could always come together regardless of who we are.
So we have some of those plants that grow right here. We have the myrtle grows here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and the palms grow here, right?
Mm-hmm. There are some that grow here. Some people started growing citrons here too, but it's a little bit more difficult to get it done right, to grow the citrons right.
So that day begins on the 27th. Is that right?
Yeah, that would be Sunday night, Monday, and Tuesday. That would be the beginning of the holiday. It's this holiday of Sukkot is called Zman Simchatenu, the day of our rejoicing, and it's a very joyous holiday. And then the holiday concludes the following week. It's for a full week. It concludes the following week with the Simchat Torah, which means the joy of the Torah. The Torah is the Jewish Bible, the Jewish scroll. We read the Torah every single year, reading one chapter every week, or one book every week, and we concluded at the end of the year, and we concluded by reading it on Simchat Torah. And as we finish reading the Torah, we have a joy, we dance, we celebrate, and we recognize that we've concluded another year, and we're now ready to begin anew.
Huh.
And so that is Simchat Torah.
Can I ask you something about Genesis? Is your headset not working?
No.
Is it working? Is it? I know it's a bad. Something.
It's working.
All right. So in Genesis, what actually in your interpretation of what happened in the beginning that caused us all to be the way we are? There was an apple and a fruit and a snake. What actually happened there?
My interpretation.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the creation, or are you talking about Adam and Eve?
Well, Adam and Eve. I mean, was it really just two people, or is that symbolic?
Well, according to the biblical narration of what took place, there was Adam and Eve. First, God created Adam, which was only one person that was made up of two. In other words, he created male and female in two. He then split the male and female in two and created them as two different beings. He also created the serpent, which God created as a test to allow man to be faced with these tests and challenges. And the serpent convinced them to sin. Now, from a deeper perspective, if you want to say that it was all perhaps part of God's plan, that it should actually be this way, that we should live in a world of good and bad, and that we should have the choice between sin and merit, and having the opportunity to choose what's right and to choose what's wrong. But yeah, it would seem that there were actually two people who were created, and then these two gave birth, and everyone in the world comes from Adam and Eve.
And we're still faced today with temptation. So the serpent may have changed his form, but it doesn't pass one person. Every single person has some kind of
exactly. And so every challenge today is connected in a sense to the original sin of the tree of knowledge.
Huh. I never understood that. Why didn't God want us to have knowledge? I mean, the knowledge of good and evil, right? Isn't that what it says?
Right. It's the knowledge to know between good and evil, to know that there is even evil in the world. At the time, there was only good. They were living in the Garden of Eden, which was only good, and the tree gave them the knowledge that there is good and evil, which is why until then they walked around naked with no clothing, because they didn't see any evil with that. But the second they ate from the tree, they realized, as the Torah says, they realized that they were naked, and they quickly went to cover themselves.
So they thought that was evil.
So they recognized the evil in there, but until then they didn't see any evil in anything. They only saw the good in everything in this world. But then after eating, the knowledge showed them that there could be evil, and that was the problem. The fact that they recognized the evil that's there.
Huh. You have a phone call, Rabbi. Let's take that phone call. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Rabbi Yossi Hecht.
Yes, good morning, everybody, and Rabbi. Very, very interesting program. Thank you. A thought that come to me is, has there ever been a pope that has visited Israel?
Yeah, there has been. I believe John Paul did. I don't know offhand, but I do know that there has been a pope who's visited Israel, perhaps two. But I'll have to Google exactly which one.
All right, thank you for the call. So we were talking about the one event. Sorry, I distracted you again with the Adam and Eve question. So Pizza in the Hut, that's for the children, right? That's something you're doing next week?
That's something that we're doing next week. We're doing a special program for the children to allow them to celebrate Sukkot, to come and sit in the Sukkah. And the best way to entice children is by telling them that you can have pizza, right?
That's right.
So,
yeah, right. Me too, by the way.
So we made a little play on it, saying that it's the Sukkot is the time of the huts. So we'll have pizza in the hut they can have pizza.
So what do you build the hut out
and
of?
it will be kosher pizza.
Oh, okay.
Kosher pizza meaning what? No pepperoni, right?
No pepperoni, right? or fake pepperoni.
So do you start construction of the sukkah on Sunday?
We've already completed making our sukkah. Now we just have to put the branches on top to make it complete. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we work on it to get it going, because it's already Sunday night when it begins.
Mm-hmm.
What you were mentioning that the Jewish population in Ocala is mainly older folks. There's not a whole lot of Jewish children here, right? Is that about to change, you think? I mean, you're pretty young. You've got two young children. How many? Four young children. How come I always think two? Because I always see you with two. You go in twos, right? Your wife takes two, you take two? So, I mean, do you think it's about to change? When we went to your congregation, you have a lot of young people in there, it seems like.
Well, there are children. I can't say there are not children, but percentage-wise, the adults are definitely more, because especially there's a lot more seniors in this area, a lot of retirees. Right. There are children, there are families coming in, and together with the retirees come many people in the medical field and other professions that come along with it. But percentage-wise, it's definitely still seniors.
So, since we're almost out of time, let's give out the contact information if somebody wants to visit the Chabad Lubavitch Jewish Center of Marion County. What is the best way to do that?
The website is jewishmarion.org, as in Marion County, and 291-2218 is the phone number.
And are we all invited to the events that we just talked about?
If you would like to come and have some kosher pizza, you want to make it with the children, you can come and join.
So what is the protocol? Do I wear a yarmulke when I show up? You have a box full of them.
We have a box. Everyone should wear a yarmulke when they come.
Just put it in there, okay.
Yeah, and you know the Hebrew word yarmulke. That's good. That's good.
But I don't know how to spell it. It's a crazy spelling.
That's right.
It doesn't even look like it spells yarmulke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a Catholic either, but when I go into the Catholic Church, there's the blessing with the water, and I never know how to do that either.
The Pope wears a yarmulke, but I don't know what he calls it.
Oh yeah, he does.
Right.
That's right. He sure does.
He does.
Rabbi, thank you so much. You're a great guy, and give our hellos and blessings to your family. Thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you for having me on.
And for coming in here and putting up with me.
Always a pleasure.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.